614 for reservations. Seasun Hotels, luxury redefined.
Smart 24, driving business.
Well, good morning and welcome to Smart Means Business. I'm Andrew Barija, and definitely it's the 18th of March and exactly 1 minute past 7. Well, it's quite interesting out there with the millions of money that we spend on the different fees, could be tuition fees or knowledge, which can actually be obtained out there online for quite some free piece, when it's quite free, but it all takes just your time that you're given, and this knowledge can actually be very, very vital when it comes to your livelihood. Well, today we are discussing the economic ripples when it comes to the aspect of self-directed learning. How does this really come into play when it comes to, you look at so many Ugandans, you try to ask yourself, what really can I do? So many times we chase the money, but we don't take time to chase that exact approach, that exact piece which can actually attract the money. You don't chase the butterflies, but just get the flowers. The butterflies will definitely come in that way. So that's part of the key points of discussion that we're going to be looking into, but probably later into the show, as we go ahead towards 9 a.m., I'll definitely be joined with how some of the innovations that have been put in place. Of course, I'll be joined by a gentleman. He's called Rogers, as we shall be breaking down matters to do with how the new innovations when it comes to self-directed learning. What are the impacts of this? And you see, when it comes to most especially in terms of innovation, it motivates, the workers to be quite very innovative in some sort of a way. So it's kind of a culture that is encouraged, most especially in the various, in the various parts of the world. Now, of course, we are taking a look at the trained eye technologies, which have been developed to make sure that this whole aspect of being self-taught takes a new direction in quite so many perspectives. Now, here what I'm talking about is how do you get your skills and put them in the local context rather, such that they can be beneficial, because there is obtaining a skill that is not necessarily going to be applicable to your area, to your economy, or some kind of way, but still it's a wisdom, getting to understand it's a skill to also break down your skill, and it's really relevant to the local community where you serve, because at the end of the day, if the grassroots person is not affected or impacted in some kind of a way, it's just a waste of time. It's a matter of time. Your services might not be really of that much effect. Now, a little brief here, if you can take a look, whereby you can learn skills needed to thrive within the local context. Now, with the blend of that is the global best practices and standards with a deep understanding, definitely of African dynamics, because remember, we're in Africa, and most of the innovative solutions that you probably will ever think about should be in line to connect with Africa. So that is something that is quite very viable for that. And I see quite a number of Ugandans give the testimonies how they actually start making money out of self-directed learning. because so many times when we rely, for example, for those that are into university, it can be quite a little bit tricky for you to kickstart. Because majority of the information, you get only about 20% about 40% literally, that's what I can say. And the rest of it is definitely may not be of best use if you don't go ahead to self-teach yourself certain concepts about certain perspectives that is in line with life. And of course, I see there are quite a lots of platforms online out there where you can actually get the aspect of self-directed. To self-teach yourself. You can join groups on Facebook, and there is LinkedIn. Quite so many. And I know some people actually say that LinkedIn is for overachievers. They may not be really in line to connect with it in some sort of a way, but still. It's still very, very relevant to be there, because you can still get the resources that are needed, most especially when it comes to connecting with the people that really matter. That's what we are talking about here. So that is self-directed learning. It has actually contributed quite a huge percentage when it comes to employing people with the jobs. Okay, now this can be in line with the skills which you can learn from a vocational institute, but we are talking about a perspective that you can't afford the vocational institute, you can't afford to go to the university, but you feel like you need to have a skill for you to do something. And the only option that you are left with is actually going to study, to self-teach yourself, online. So this is what we are talking about. New innovations have actually been put in place. And actually, there are some universities which still offer these courses for free online. And you can actually sign into here, and you get that knowledge. And before you know it, you will be in position to use it effectively. But above all, like I mentioned, you always need to have the skill on how to direct your very own skill to benefit the people within your community, within your society. And of course, looking at the bigger picture, not forgetting that we are in Africa, Uganda, we have our own challenges. So that means the skills should be tailored to the challenges which Uganda is actually facing. Because if you just innovate just out of because you feel like you love to innovate, well, it might be dangerous, because if your innovation can't solve the actual problems the society is facing, then it will cease to be really of that much great importance to the society. So definitely later on into the show, these are going to be the major points that we shall be definitely taking a look through, seeing the aspects of the economic ripples of self-directed learning later on into the show, coming down to also understand the aspect of workforce adaptability and innovation at the same time. Of course, these are part of the benefits that come along with self-directed learning, and of course, taking a look at the entrepreneurship, how it can boost entrepreneurship and small business growth. That is also quite a key aspect. When you get these ideas, I can guarantee you, before you know it, you can be forced. You feel the urge that you need to put these skills into practice, and before you know it, it will be quite very beneficial to the community. And finally, we shall go to pick it up with innovations that are boosting the self-directed learning, and of course, reducing unemployment and mitigating of the possible economic downturns. However much we learn other skills, I understand there are quite lots of skills which need to be obtained, but there is also what we call the life skills. The life skills, because so many times, so many of us, when we talk about self-directed learning, we are thinking about the traditional, the cultural way of doing things. You have to study this, you have to study that, but there are also other aspects. Talking about social skills that you actually need to survive in that way. So all these are part of the new innovations that are actually boosting the self-directed learning, as later on we shall be reviewing the trained eye technologies, which into that line of self-teaching the people. I mean, you just need to have the discipline for you to get online, take your time, and you can actually have courses. We're talking about intermediate. There is the beginner's case, intermediary, and then the mastery. That is when you're getting into the in-depth of that concept, all of that skill that you are studying. I hope this discussion will quite be very profitable for you, a young entrepreneur and somebody that is aspiring to really innovate something, but you're stuck how to start because you're thinking probably I need to have $1 million. Oh, I need to have for the Ugandan contest. You're thinking that I need to have like 5 million Ugandan shillings. No, you don't need to. Your skill is your. Actually, when you have the skill, the rest will fall into place. You start slowly, regardless of what capital you start with. Regardless of what items you start with and what amount of money you have on you at that particular time. Once you have a mastery in the skill, you've self-taught yourself, well, I can assure you the future is very bright for you. And today, that's exactly the area we are going to be looking into. Well, for now, let's take a look at what's making headlines over the praise. Well, as we kick start off here, I have the East African, the Daily Monitor, and together with the New Vision. So we are going to go through what is really making headlines. Now, of course, to kick start off with the Daily Monitor, of course, seeing Army launches campaign that is over cross-border security threats. And of course, this is on the page 44. And of course, seeing aspects to do that who will replace Ijuko as stand-big boss. Of course, she got quite a big role in there. And somebody said that now she's no longer ours. So who's going to replace her in that perspective? And of course, getting straight to the New Vision, Church of Uganda to license clerics. Yes, so to ensure that they can actually execute their respective duties. Now, Namirembe diocese priests will be required to reapply annually, still in line with that. Right now, of course, students raise awareness of plastic pollution. Of course, plastic pollution going everywhere. And I'm seeing here the plastic is actually being recycled to be of quite a certain value in terms of, the economic benefits, as later on we shall see. And of course, seeing here something to do with the gender violence, why the practice is up in Western Uganda. Of course, when you grab yourself a copy of the Daily Monitor, you will find out those further details as we can see. Well, now crossing over to the East African, of course, President Kagame here making headlines to his party, and he's saying that give me a successor. Yes, that is what he says. And of course, coming out to say enough is enough, says the veteran leader as he goes for fourth term for even as ruling party shows no interest, as much as the ruling party still shows no interest of replacing him actually. Yeah, so that is what is happening in that. Now, of course, still in the market outlook here in the East African, I can see something here in line with the Red Sea and the Suez Canal crisis, which is reaching East Africa shipping. Now, insurance costs are pushing the inflationary pressures. Yes, we shall be getting the details further when you grab yourself a copy. That is of the East African. And of course, taking a look into the markets here as Kenya gets headroom for International Monetary Fund cash. And now, of course, the lender increased the borrowing ceiling to 600 pieces. Wow. Very, very, very amazing. Now, of course, seeing here, East Africa's big three out to save the integration agenda. I can see President Yoweri Museveni, the president of Tanzania, Samia, that is Samia Suluhu, and of course seeing President Ruto. Of course, these are the forefathers of the East African community. It's not really a big surprise seeing them that they are part of this. So receiving here, seeing Tanzania revives plan to tarmac highway that is through Serengeti. Now, earlier planned to construct a 452-kilometer road to link Arusha, that is to Musoma, was stopped by activists. Why was it stopped, really? You find out when you grab yourself a copy of the East African. All right, I have quite a lot of me. Now, I'm seeing here a businessman sues Kampala City Council Authority over kiosks. Now, the KCCA says there was a manhole power that is a line and other utility lines that is going through the said land, hence the need to remove them. This is according to what we see. So grab yourself a copy to find out further details in line with that. Now, of course, Ponzi schemes are back here. Recently we've been seeing what happened last year. It was really very dramatic, how people lost their money. Now, I'm seeing here a property dealer faces fraud charges over Ponzi scheme. Yeah, so who is this property dealer? Of course, get yourself a copy of the division. You will find out as, as you get yourself this copy, find out the Ponzi scheme. Probably you could survive being a victim. Now, of course, seeing here, Aga Khan School, which is producing the top mathematician in the world. Very interesting. And of course, seeing Cambridge Learner Awards program celebrates the success of learners that is taking Cambridge examinations in more than 40 countries around the world. Very interesting. Very interesting. Now, Ugandan doctors still, away from that, we see that Ugandan doctors are set to conduct first liver transplant in the country. Now, this is quite, it puts us aside when it comes to, medical innovations. Of course, it's not the first time, but at least for our country, it shows us how far we've gone in various areas and how we can reduce on the dependency of our patients flying in out there, which leads to capital flight at the same time. So if we can have our Ugandan doctors being able to do that, then we shall be able to keep it within the country, Uganda. Now, of course, Army launching campaign over cross-border threats. You find out that as you grab yourself a copy, that is of the Daily Monitor. And, of course, seeing about 8 million Ugandan shillings mice were cheapest on the market, says Mosenero. That is the Minister Mosenero saying that mice contain some human genes. Yeah, she's the Minister of Science and Technology. So you get find out that. Now, of course, still in line with what we mentioned about Army launching campaign over cross-border threats. Of course, there is still on grab yourself a copy. We shall be seeing what are those areas that are starting to be at risk. Yeah, such that when you find out, you know what to do as line of, with that. Now, the European Union removes Uganda from the money laundering blacklist. Now, the move comes after Uganda was delisted from the grey list by the Financial Action Task Force. That is on February 23rd, 2024. Now, of course, the advantages that are associated with this, inclusive matters to do with the foreign direct investment. When you have foreign direct investment, when you're not part of this list, it's easily for you to attract the foreign direct investment, despite the weakening shilling that we are going through as a country. But you'll find out more of those details, how the European Union really removed Uganda from the blacklist of money laundering. And of course, still the big question, who will replace Juco at Stanbic? Well, we need such women more in, not only just in Stanbic Bank, but also in all various sectors of both private and the public sector. That would be quite interesting. Now, of course, Anita Mong says attackers want her job, her speaker job. Who's that? Of course, the speaker resists pressure to resign and rally support. That is for her and her husband's political endeavors amid the ongoing scrutiny. Yes, so grab yourself a copy and you will get to find out that. Now, of course, crossing back to the New Vision a little bit. Okay, of course, seeing Presidents Museveni, Suluhu and Ruto meet over the East Africa Federation. We call them the pioneers. And now, of course, government commends Ireland for its development support. Yes, Ireland has been instrumental when it comes to development support of the country, Uganda. And of course, NRM asks Museveni to extend the party registration. Find out that. Now, I'm also seeing here Moses' corruption fight strategy. This is what, I mean, this would be amazing to really find out. And grab yourself a copy of the New Vision. You'll get to see that. And that brings us to the end of our press brief. And now heading straight to the traffic updates. What is making headlines right there? Kampala Road linking up to, that is Ginger Road. It all seems quite positive in my observation there. But of course, you'll have to be quite much more patient because I really understand how long it can actually take when you're held by the vehicles there before you're set free to head to other different destinations. It can be quite challenging. It can be really quite challenging. But anyway, it looks all free there. It looks free and there is not really much of a congestion. So if you're coming in from Kampala and you're heading towards Ginger Road, I guess this would be quite appropriate according to what I'm looking into. All right. Now, of course, still, if you feel like you're on time and you're rushing, you can use to pass via the Garden City route via Nile Avenue, and you can proceed until you, most especially those that are heading to Ginger Road. Yes, you will have to, you can use that other route down there. Nile Avenue, you branch over to Yusuf Lule, the Garden City roundabout, then before you know it, you'll proceed. Actually, chances are high that some of the vehicles that you're looking up to, that are coming in from that side, they have actually also been on the very route, that is on the Kampala Road route. They decided to change and, come in this side and proceed. But that is what it is like there. And remember, this is one of that center stage which connects a number of routes, when it comes to linking to the city center, heading to other destinations. So we can, let's take a look at ahead there, one of the most congested areas, there, seeing Kampala Road, Ginger Road linking up with Portobello Road at the Airtel roundabout. Yeah, I can see the fleet of the vehicles starting all the way from up there. So vehicles along the Ginger Road route, talking of areas like Nakawa, Shireka, Banda, and many more, even Mokono's people coming in line with the connive with the vehicles from areas along Portobello Road, and talking about areas like Bugolobi, most especially. But of course, as you proceed still further, people coming in from Mutungo, Luzira, to Tintale side, they also use that very route. So it gets a little bit congested. But, well, today morning, it seems to be in a smooth flow, according to my observation. And Yeah, so if you're heading, if you're coming in from those areas, you're coming in from Chintale, Mutungo, Bugolobi, even areas along Nakawa Road, like Banda, Chireka, Seta, well, you can still really, this is the best time for you to really set out and proceed, because I perceive as the day goes on, as later on the day goes on, you'll find it harder to actually reach on time into the city. So you have to be quite careful. Now, finally, we take a look at the access road, access road route. You can see a number of vehicles still there, but it's not really so much congested. I think the rest of the routes are free. The most busiest one is Ginger Road and that junction, most especially where Ginger Road connects with the Portobello Road. I can see vehicles coming in from from Access Road being set free to proceed to Ginger Road. You know, ever since Access Road was actually worked on in terms of maintenance, in preparation for the, when we had preparations for the NAM and the G77, it has kind of improved its performance right there. Well, we'll take a break for now, and of course, we are returning with Caribbean, East Africa, and international updates. Stick around.
Smart 24, driving business.
My bossy, can I borrow fuero? Biggie money, can I borrow renty? Manager, give me some caloni. Okay, what about 5K?
When you need a loan, you've got MTN Momo. Wesotinge. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
These holidays, you don't need to go far to find the best entertainment.
Have I got a surprise for you?
All you need to do is stay connected to DSTV.
I'm so excited.
Pick your moment of fun and share it with your family.
Oh, that's gorgeous, yeah.
Overpowering.
Past the keeper, Jude Bellingham.
Pick the